How's it going, everybody? Rob here, back with another video. And oh my gosh. Um I was sure I talked about this film before. And apparently I haven't. And it is one of many films that kind of have intrigued me in this particular genre. That of course being the exorcism genre. Um, and let me just say, in terms of this particular, like, I guess, storytelling for, like, supernatural horror and stuff like that, um, The Exorcism of Emily Rose is probably one of the ones that you may or may not hear of. Mostly because it is loosely based on, if I remember correctly, loosely based on um, a series of books, or at least it's loosely based on the Book of Exorcism of Annalise Mitchell. And apparently, fun fact, it was, I guess there were 3 parts. The Exorcism of Emily Rose, the Requiem, and Annalise, the Exorcist tapes. So, oh wow, really cool. The more you know on that. The movie itself was directed by Scott Derrickson, written by Paul Harris Boardman and Scott Derrickson. It stars Laura Linney, Tom Wilkinson, and Sheree Adashlo. Hopefully I said that correctly. I probably did, and I apologize. But, okay. So, to just kind of give a quick synopsis of what the story is, it starts off with the death of Emily Rose, who, at first, like, nobody knows, like, how she died. It's all tragic. When the cops and the medical staff show up, her body is, in a sense, it is emaciated. It's like as if somebody was abusing her. So the first suspect is the priest that is connected to Emily Rose's family, and a defense attorney is hired to basically try to keep him from going to jail. Now, I will say something that is really interesting, and I have talked about it if it's still up. I'm pretty sure it's still up. But I did reviews of the Conjuring films, more specifically the Devil in Me. And one thing I kind of mentioned in that film or in that review is that there should have been more emphasis on the trial that was going on in between the movie, or at least more details. And in a sense, Emily Rose is that movie, or The Exorcism of Emily Rose is that movie where it is somewhat challenged in terms of whether or not exorcism could play a role in, the death of someone, and how would that be represented in the court of law. It is very intriguing to watch, not just watching the testimonies of people brought in by the prosecution, but also as well as witnesses and individuals who apparently study the stuff that is discussed in this film involving the character Emily Rose. And honestly, I will say, like, that I kind of appreciate that for it kind of discussing faith, and discussing this type of this malicious and what I think, if anything, in terms of, like, demons and stuff, like, how would that be presented in the court of law? How would it be discussed? How would it be acknowledged? how would it be um, basically kind of thrown out due to lack of evidence. All in all, it was an intriguing movie to watch. When it involves the court stuff, I was kind of glued to my seat because I was very curious on how they would go about discussing each of their own arguments. The scenes where we see the flashbacks of Emily Rose being possessed, honestly, really, really freaking terrifying. Um, Especially towards the end, the tail end of the movie, where you are listening to, which by the way, it's really cool. We get a visual of what's going on, but the setup is everyone is listening through a tape recorder. Now, in some sense, again, we're getting the visual of what's happening, but just to imagine, like, let's say if you were a not a witness, but a juror or somebody in the audience listening to a tape of a possible exorcism and hearing just the horrific things going on. That stuff is very, I would say it's horrifying to think about and even more horrifying to see it. So, all in all, again, I don't think there's much I need to say about this movie. I would say for those who would be kind of curious at horror, or at least into this kind of genre of films, I would say, like, if you want, maybe one time, go check it out. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I kind of want to give this one a high mark, and I'm sure people are like thinking, how come there's not that much action? Why isn't there, where the girl is freed from the possession? Which again, it's based on a book. There's a certain way that things go in the books, but overall, I'm glad that towards the very end, the characters, they do manage to, like, spoilers by the way, they do manage to somewhat save the priest who tried his best to save Emily Rose, but also with everything, it's a sort of bittersweet ending. The priest is saved, sure, but throughout this entire film, we are given glimpses of the character Emily Rose and what she goes through, and towards the end, it's still kind of put into question what happened to her. But at the very least, there is some closure towards the end. But again, at the expense of her her dying. So, what do I want to give this? Honestly, like I said, I enjoyed the film. I'm one of those people that actually kind of enjoyed it. I will say that the thing that really kind of that piqued my interest was the fact that in terms of the court stuff, like being presented, we actually get to see what's going on in the court. And again, the defense and the prosecutors giving their own thoughts and opinions, bringing their own witnesses to discuss issues or kind of debunk each and every person's argument is fascinating to watch. So I think what I'm going to do is, for the movie itself, I want to give it a 8 out of 10. It's a lot of fun, or not a lot of fun. It goes through some of the issues that the characters go through. It has a very interesting take on how the whole demon possession, storyline is taking place. We see glimpses of what happened to the character through testimonies of the witnesses, and above all, there is somewhat of a bittersweet ending. So 8 out of 10, guys. I will say I enjoyed it, and I ask you guys to at least one time check it out. Now, with that out of the way, don't have anything else I need to add other than, again, Watch it at least once. So, anyway, with that being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Truly appreciate it. If you guys can, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, links are in the description down below, as well as check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Rob Novakast signing off. Have a good one. Take care, and I'll see you guys next video.